We could be seeing a world war, Hemalurgic SWAT teams, and ash falling from the sky in the next era of Mistborn. So, strap in. Hello World Hoppers, welcome to Cosmere Horizons, your one-stop shop for everything Cosmere. With the next major installment in the Cosmere being Mistborn Era 3, I thought I would ask all of you what your favorite theories are for what is yet to come. Some of y'all had some insane ideas. This video will obviously contain complete spoilers for Mistborn Era 1 and 2, as well as Mistborn Secret History. No Wind and Truth spoilers until the end, and I'll give a disclaimer when that comes up. Get ready for theories about Harmony's transition to Discord, our favorite survivor, the first ever 3-shard hybrid, and the return of the Ash. It feels fair to assume that massive events will happen in this era, unlike Era 2. Brandon Sanderson was originally planning to write the Ghostbloods trilogy from the beginning. Mistborn was originally going to be a trilogy of trilogies. This was going to be the second trilogy. Because it was in the original plan, it will likely have more Scadrial and possibly Cosmere significance over Era 2. Okay, so first up, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Harmony is clearly going to transition to Discord. That is, if he hasn't already. In The Lost Metal, Wayne and Kelsier literally see a dark shadow version of Harmony trailing behind him. Additionally, Telson says Harmony knows that Discord is near. But the most important piece of evidence out of all of this comes from the final Empire in Chapter 8, which is the chapter that Sazed's introduced. The epigraph to this chapter says, "He shall defend their ways, yet shall violate them. He will be their savior, yet they shall call him heretic. His name shall be Discord, yet they shall love him for it." What? It was in that one. It was there. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see Discord in the next era of Mistborn. While some theories that I'm going to read off say that Discord will be given to someone else, I'm fairly confident that it will be Sazed due to the rest of this quote specifically describing Sazed in every other part. Also, it's the chapter where Sazed shows up for the first time, so I'm pretty sure Sazed will be Discord. Another conflict that I'm pretty confident will start to brew is between Elendel Basin and the Malwish Consortium. At 6H23 thinks there will be a war between the Malwish Consortium and the Elendel Basin, stopped by Harmony. But this act will shift him into Discord, creating a bigger war where Discord and Marsh will work together to try and stop the new war spurred on by Discord, but will fail. With the Malwish winning the war, and this is hinted at in the Sunlit Man, where the Scadrian researchers ask Nomad to talk in a civilized language like Malwish, Sazed will, in an attempt to stop the chaos, leave the planet, giving it to the Scadrians. Apparently there's a word of Brandon someone asked for of a future Harmony quote out of context, which is a really cool ask, by the way. And Brandon responded with, "It's yours." Now, along with Scadrial, it could also refer to the power of Discord / Harmony or Ruin or Preservation, so we don't exactly know. At the end of the trilogy, Sazed will arrive on Roshar, causing Discord there, with both the Coalition and the Big Bad's forces viewing him as a dangerous outside threat. Oh, and one other small thing I forgot to mention. They think that when he transitions to Discord, it will cause ash to fall from the sky so that the Cassandra is balanced out. If ash falls from the sky in Era 3, I'm gonna eat my book. While I do like the first half of this theory, I personally find it really unlikely that we'll be seeing any more Roshar until Stormlight 6. Or I guess the Horneater novella, but regardless, I don't think it's gonna be coming from Mistborn. Also, you could argue that the Cassandra is balancing out what the Lord Ruler did, so I don't know how much weight that has to it, but it's really bold and I dig it. However, they bring up a really good point about the Scadrians speaking Malwish in the Sunlit Man. The scene does not describe the Scadrians wearing masks. However, they're wearing these triangle clips on the side of their faces, so that might be something. They do mention that there's many political factions on Scadrial, so there is a chance that descendants of the Elendel population are still sticking around. But whether or not they make it, I guess we'll just have to Raffo.
Yes?
Oh, hi. Sorry, when I said Raffo, I did not mean you.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess now that you're here, do you want to talk about how Kelsier might be able to get off world using identity?
No, I don't want to.
Oh. Well, okay then. I really thought you were going to say yes. So, user MetaRocky7640 theorized that we'll be seeing a large industrialization of the magic system. Now, they go on to talk about identity and connection being important to the next era, and it got my head thinking about Kelsier. Kelsier being able to go off-world will be a big point on the agenda for Era 3. Can we take a minute to recognize how impressive it is that he runs a world-hopping organization while not being able to leave the Scadrian system? Like, yeah. Good work, Kelsier. So, could Kelsier's connection to Scadrial be tied to his persona in the Basin as the survivor in their religion? And thus, he would finally be freed if the Basin is demolished, destroying the memory of him. In contrast, is his connection tied to Scadrial being the sovereign, and will only be able to be freed if the Malwish are destroyed? Or could it be the memory of the survivor and the sovereign, and both of those would have to be gone in order for him to leave the planet? Or could this all be totally wrong and it's just a theory? Again! User One Last Job says that Harmony will become Discord and Kelsier will take the shards from Sazed because it more aligns with his personality. Harmony will shift to Discord because the powers of Ruin and Preservation are always conflicted with how much to actually get involved, with Ruin always slightly overpowering Preservation. Then Discord with the Vessel of Kelsier will go to Autonomy because they keep trying to mess with Scadrial and fight. After a clash, Kelsier will take up the shard of Autonomy, creating a Preservation, Ruin, and Autonomy mixed shard known as Harmony. True Harmony. With Autonomy in the mix, it keeps the powers of Preservation and Ruin in line and how they wouldn't want to get involved. Harmony will be able to act more freely in conflicts outside of Scadrial because of this. I love this theory so much, and I don't think it will happen. The Shard of Autonomy in the mix is a really cool idea, but if anything, the Shard of Autonomy seems the least likely to make a hybrid shard. Also, for reasons I said earlier, I don't think the power of Discord will go to anybody but Sazed, but I do really like this theory. User Legendary Rarity says there will be coffee shops with metal shaving orders. Yes. Yes. I personally predict that we'll see a lot of Scadrians subscribing to Cosmere Horizon. User Mega Jammy on Reddit thinks there will be a Marcy incident with her powers, and we could be seeing her in Era 3, which I would love. I love Marcy. She was the youngest of the four, and without her powers, she would only be like 70 to maybe 100 years old in Era 3, but she could only be 70 years old. And if there's any slow bubble incident, maybe we could still see her around. Maybe because of how much she's using her powers, she's saving a couple years, maybe even a decade of her life. And so maybe she'll be a lot younger in Era 3 than we think at first. I feel like we'll definitely be seeing Wax's kids at the very least. At MacMay4032 on YouTube theorizes the following. Malwish win. Elendel culture, as we know it, is basically wiped out. The Malwish have the technical superiority, they have the bands, they have the harmonium, they have the well. And all human Scadrians we see from future era books have some sort of mask on. When the future talks about Scadrians, they mean members of the Malwish Consortium. I think Hemalurgy is more well known. Between political factions, a few set members being free, general corruption and incompetence, I think knowledge gets out that Spikes will steal and transfer powers. I think new laws will be passed, saying if people commit specific crimes by using powers, like a coin shop murdering with allomancy, influencing people with emotional allomancy, etc., you can be sentenced to death by Hemalurgy, and the resulting Spikes will go to empower an elite team of Metalborn who are basically SWAT, and they are tasked specifically with taking out criminal Metalborn. What? Hemalurgic SWAT team? Yes. While this might be my favorite idea on this list, it doesn't seem very 1980s to me, because we know that's kind of the time era that this era of Mistborn is, but I can totally seeing this be a thing in future eras of Mistborn. I definitely think Hemalurgic Spikes will be very big in this era of Mistborn, and that magic system will be expanded upon. We didn't see a ton of expansion upon Hemalurgy in Era 2, but remember we did get the revelation that you can take investiture out of someone without killing them now. So that seems pretty significant. Could you supercharge a Spike if you took a tiny piece out of a bunch of people's souls and shove it into one person? Also, to all the individuals who have a little bit of their souls taken out, will we be seeing like drabs from Warbreaker on Scadrial? I think we have to put into consideration that while all these theories are fun, the series will be called Ghostbloods, and there weren't many theories about the Ghostbloods on both Reddit and YouTube, so I'm gonna pitch some of my own. Going with the whole theme of Discord, the war between the Malwish and Elendel, I think we'll be seeing potential like inner fighting between Kelsier and Delaville, Delaville. That's it, Delaville. We see in the end of the Lost Metal that they disagree with how to handle Marasi, and clearly Delaville is the more aggressive one. Also, the Ghostbloods have an objective to protect Scadrial, but what does that mean when the top two in command of the Ghostbloods are from different nations at war? It means there's gonna be some headbutting, I think. Also, what side will Kelsier take? He is the Sovereign, but he's also the survivor. Stormlight 5, Wind and Truth spoiler warning, click off now, but like, subscribe before you go. Okay, love you, bye. I think we will be seeing a more aggressive Delaville due to the death of his sister, Eotl. Now, I was kind of vague when speaking about the big bad of Stormlight Archive and outside threats, but I'm mostly talking about retribution. Most of the theories that I have mentioned, as well as a few others, mentioned Retribution showing up and backing up Autonomy, or at least his forces showing up, or Harmony confronting him. And I just don't see this happening. Like, when Harmony got formed, we didn't really see him outside of Mistborn, other than a few mentions way later in the Cosmere. I can totally see Sazed or Kelsier being like, crap's hitting the fan off our planet, but I don't see him showing up specifically in Mistborn. But like, I think it'll be like one line and won't have any plot significance. In fact, I don't think we'll see Retribution again until Stormlight 7 at the earliest, but that's for a different video. Thank you so much to everyone who submitted theories. It was so much fun to read through them all. I'll leave a link in the description down below so you can read through the thread yourself. Check out this video if you want to see what's next for the Stormlight Archive, and subscribe to see future Cosmere content. Wait, these books aren't coming out till 2028.